impressive.
Yeah, right? So it looks like, yeah, there's quite a bit of rotation involved in that. So the hail threat would certainly be there. And if we were looking at some winds around 64 miles an hour, but again, we don't have any reports that we've got an actual tornado on the ground, just a severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. And when you look at a velocity signature like that, you would certainly have to agree that that would be capable of producing a spin up, and a spin up that could create some damage. So that's why if you were in Milam, we wanted you for about the last half hour to be in your safe place, and hopefully you are. If you're in Rosevine, the danger is just about past. If you're listening to us in Rosevine or watching us on the CBS19 app, please just stay where you are for about the next 10 minutes, and then the threat should pass. And again, we are live on the air for severe weather at this hour, and that does include our radio partners, 106.5 Jack FM, Kicks 105.7, 104 The Ranch, and La Invasora at 96.7. We will return to the normal programming when the threat is passed, but for now, we're staying on the air with our radio partners and on the air here on CBS 19.
Oh, yeah,
as
that's
this
impressive
strong,
hail.
yeah. So there's some larger hail right in there. Yeah, we'd have to. What are we talking about? Oh man, wow, 2.5-inch size hail.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Even with radar estimates, that's super impressive, because sometimes those can be a little overdone, but still, it gives us a good idea that these updrafts are very strong, and they're certainly supporting the rotation going on within them right now.
Yeah, and the hail impact was above the, totally above the tornado impact at around a 6.7, and the wind impact was somewhere in that same ballpark. So this is definitely a wind and hail producer at this time. So 2.5 inches. When you don't do severe weather for a couple of months and then you do it once and you don't really talk much about large hail, 2.5 inches I think is golf ball.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah.
I'll do a quick Google search.
Yeah, I think it's golf ball. It might be getting closer to hen egg sized. Once we get up into 3 inches, that's when we're talking about some baseball-sized hail. 4 inches is softball-sized hail. It's that intermediate size there. We get into ping pong to golf ball size.
Yeah, that's about hen egg to tennis ball if we were to do 2 to 2.5 inches.
Wow. All right, so that's some big hail. Think about a tennis ball crashing down on a car or in a window of a house. And look at that hail cell. That hail core is just impressive right there north of Milam. I think, in fact, it's lagging. Here's the real core. That's kind of lagging behind. Yeah, wow. So that's going to split right between East Hamilton and Milam. Maybe we zoom in on that hail core.
Okay.
Anybody living in these areas, we can tell them it would be almost too late at this point to try to get a car under a carport unless you can do it in a matter of seconds. But Carter Ferry Road right now, Red Hills Lake, Centers Ferry Road, you'd have time to get your car inside a carport. East Hamilton, you'd have just a small amount of time, but wow, there's a lot of hail from Sexton down to Red Hills Lake.
And you know what? It's interesting too with the latest update. We just got a new update in, a new severe thunderstorm warning. I'll go ahead and zoom this out. And they're doing a continuation of this severe thunderstorm warning, keeping the tornado possible tag on it. The National Weather Service said they are going to hold off on a new tornado warning for now, which means this should be allowed to expire at 3:45. Of course, we'll still take that seriously. But it's interesting, Brett, that this cell's really picked up forward momentum. This latest warning says it's northeast at 55 miles per hour, so it's really picked up speed. All
right, so maybe let's do a new track on that at 50 miles an hour.
And here in the next couple of minutes, this is going to make its way over into the Sabine parishes out of our viewing area and into Louisiana.
All right, and at that point, we'll be able to go back to regular programming, but we'll stay with it until that occurs. And that is expected to happen at 3:45-ish, so about 15 more minutes as we walk everybody through our deep East Texas counties through this severe thunderstorm threat this afternoon. I know there's no threat in Tyler or Longview or up toward Gilmer or Mineola, but we have to take care of everybody across the area, and so that's why we are on the air right now live with our live tornado coverage, tornado warned storm in parts of San Augustine County, which is about ready to move into Sabine County, and then Sabine County would be the only county included in the warning. The city of Hemp Hill is not included in this warning at this time. It's a rather small polygoned area or red outlined area from Sexton to Milam, and this is pushing northeast now. I think Chandler just said about 50 miles an hour. So that'll cross the Louisiana border probably within the next, say, 15 to 20 minutes. It'll be gone. Chandler, let's go back downstream a little bit. I just wanted to give everybody kind of an idea of what's west of this storm. Again, there are a couple of cells here. They don't look as impressive as this one at this time. If we put this into motion, you might be able to see how these cells they're just not gaining a whole lot of strength. They're coming up, and then that one sort of weakens a little bit as it moves up toward Nacogdoches County and northern San Augustine County. And then that one, there is some rotation in that one in Angelina County. It doesn't look to be as much. Near Chester, that cell's rotating just a little bit, but certainly not the spinner that we've got there northeast of Hemphill now. So unless these can move into this environment and suddenly grow into something stronger, these should stay sub-severe. But this one, you go all the way back into Angelina County, and that one first it looked like it was just going to be a strong thunderstorm, and then it quickly went tornado warned. So it's been tornado warned for about the last 45 minutes. So my thought here is that these would move into this area. This area certainly was conducive, but the whole area of concern is kind of shifting into Louisiana here in the next hour or so. So these thunderstorms are sort of trailing that. They're in a weaker piece of environment, so I don't know that they're going to become more than what they are right now, though that little cell there, again, is spinning just a little bit as it moves into Angelina County. So it doesn't look big at this time. I don't know if there's a ton of lightning with that. That would be one way. We turn on the lightning, maybe we can see if that's gaining strength. Lightning is one of those things that we look at, and it tells us that it's getting stronger. And this one was that kind of, look how much lightning is with that storm now.
Looks just like a couple of bolts with those cells near Angelina County.
Yeah.
And oftentimes too, and let's hope for this case, is when these cells that are trying to get going move through an environment that's already had a strong thunderstorm move through it, it oftentimes just can't tap into the leftover reserves, and from there it almost doesn't necessarily fizzle out, but Brett, it certainly takes a lot more work for it to get stronger.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like the analogy I like to use sometimes is that, so you had a balloon full of energy here, and this thunderstorm essentially burst that energy balloon. And so now this one works into that whatever's left over, and there may just, as Chandler pointed out, may not just be enough for it to do anything more than what it's doing now. Could get a little bit stronger. Still can't rule out it could become a severe thunderstorm warning. I just don't think it's going to become what this cell did here as it moves across northern Sabine County. And this is a really good kind of reference point here. So that cell moved across central San Augustine County, northern Sabine County, and it's going to move into Louisiana here in just a few minutes. And then back here we have these other showers and thunderstorms kind of trailing behind. Back towards center, showers, thunderstorms, non-severe. Thunderstorms moved northeast of Carthage. They've moved out of the area. Mount Enterprise, Jacksonville, Nacogdoches are all not seeing much right now. Groveton, Crockett, Elkhart, all quiet at this time. We're going to zoom back in here on this cell. And again, look at the lightning. East Hamilton to Milam, the lightning and the hail, no doubt that the hail is helping to generate and create some of that lightning with all those ice crystals in the atmosphere up there and all that negative and positive charges coming together and just creating a big time hail environment.
Yeah, and the National Weather Service is still going to continue this tornado warning for another 10 to 15 minutes, and it is still moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour, though closer to the next 5 minutes. I think the area of rotation that we were keeping an eye out for is going to make its way more so into Louisiana, and then Sabine County will be in the clear. So we'll reset to our storm relative velocity product, and we'll go ahead and zoom back in. And we'll see if we can get a better idea of where the rotation is, although once we get the polygons out of here to kind of clear things up, it looks still, relatively there, but also pretty broad, too.
Yeah, it certainly has broadened up. There have been times where it's tightened up. We can't promise that there wasn't maybe a quick spin up near Rosevine, or maybe west of that, maybe over toward Broadus, a quick spin up. If there were quick spin ups, they did not last very long, and we have not been able to get any indication or confirmation from the National Weather Service or any spotters in the field that they have seen anything. But there's also the possibility that these were rain-wrapped circulations. There's a ton of rain in there. You saw the lightning. There's a lot of hail. I mean, even without the tornadoes, this is a dangerous cell unto itself with all of the hail and the wind speeds that may have exceeded 60 miles an hour. It's just crossing over 87 right now. And there's our Titan indicator on the hail. So that's what we've been talking about in the hail. Maybe we can look inside that again. Every time, it looks like that's a moderate-sized hail, but again, the maximum hail size in that is going to be up close to hen egg-sized hail, And the probability of severe hail, meaning it's at least quarters, is 100%. And there is a lot of wind in that, with the wind impact over 9 and the hail impact close to 7. And then you've got the flooding impact around a 4. So that's about a medium range flood impact. So there's likely some ponding on roadways, some heavy rainfall, but it's the gusty winds and the large hail that is really the problem with that cell at this time. Tornado impact, at least according to our Titan indicator, is down to a 0. That would make sense when you look at the broad rotation across this area from the Louisiana border all the way west of Highway 87. It's probably 4 or 5 mile wide rotation. We want that to be less than 1 mile, and 1 mile ideal for a tornado to form, but we're not. It's much wider than that. So I really think at this point that we don't have a tornado, but we just have a wide. In fact, it's about an 8 mile wide rotation. So you just have a large thunderstorm that's kind of turning its way into Louisiana. So we have about 11 minutes to go on, or I should say 10 minutes to go on the tornado warning. We're going to stay on until the tornado warning is allowed to expire, and that's at 3:45. Then the severe thunderstorm warning goes until 4:30, but we will go back to regular programming at that time, because then the threat of the severe thunderstorm will move across Sabine and Shelby counties, but then really move into the parishes of DeSoto, Natchitoches, and Sabine counties. Sabine Parish onto the Louisiana side. So I think we'll get Sabine and Shelby dropped from the severe thunderstorm warning probably at about the same time that the tornado warning is dropped, around 3:45, but that's the time that we'll go back to regular programming. Again, this is a very wide rotation at this time. It's a broad rotation. Because it's so broad, we don't have much of the threat of tornadoes there, but we do have the threat for some very large hail in excess of hen egg sized, and also the threat for some strong gusty winds in excess of 58 miles an hour. At one point, we had sampled the winds inside that storm, and it came out around 64 miles an hour. So we could be looking at some 60, 65 mile an hour winds as that storm just hugs and hangs on to Sabine County. And I got to imagine here we get another scan, this will jump across the border within no time.
Oh yeah, I bet so. And we're probably getting one of those here in the next minute or two. No other updates from the National Weather Service as far as if they are going to issue another warning or allow for this to expire. It sounds like, though, once we hit 3:45, we'll be all good to let this warning expire, though the severe thunderstorm warning itself continues until 4:15. So we've still got another 30 to 45 minutes of that. So definitely got to take it serious, especially maybe even if you have some loved ones who are just across the border and in some of the parishes, DeSoto Parish, Natchitoches Parish, Sabine Parish. Let them know of what's coming their way as this strong thunderstorm continues to move off to the north and east again. And something that's interesting, too, is this particular cell has really picked up its pace. When we first came on the air about an hour ago, it was moving at about 25 to 30 miles per hour, and some of the more recent scans and data coming in and from the National Weather Service as far as the warning that was issued, moving northeast at 50 to 55 miles per hour. So definitely a much quicker storm. Of course, that's some good news for us as well, because that means we get these out of here at a much quicker rate. We'll switch back over to the storm relative velocity product. Remember, this one takes out the actual motion of the storm, so we can kind of just look at the winds itself occurring within the core of the storm. And still, with this latest scan that we've got, not super impressive, certainly, though, broad enough that it definitely deems an eye out for.
Yeah, definitely so. And again, so thankfully we have not heard of any reports of any damage down in the Broadus area or Rosevine area. It certainly looked like at times, since about 2:42 when we came on the air, which has just been a little under an hour ago, that a couple of different times it looked like there might be a quick spin up. Some of the reflectivity signatures suggested that there was a hook echo there, and then it quickly went away. So it may have tried. There might have been a funnel. Again, we have not heard any reports of any funnels from any spotters or anything like that. But if you can safely share any pictures that you might have taken of the storm as it moved through Rosevine or Broadus, or even from Natchitoches looking to the south, please share that with us. You can always email us weather@cbs19.tv. And I believe you can text us at 903-600-2600, and we can get those pictures also in that manner. So again, we have that tornado warning till 3:45. And it is currently about 6 minutes away from expiring. In fact, there it just jumped outside of the tornado warned, what we call polygon or box. So it has now moved across into the Louisiana side, into the, I think, Sabine Parish at this time. And so it looks like Milam, you're in the clear. East Hamilton, I'll say that you are in the clear. Sabine Town, you're in the clear. Venable, San Augustine, in the clear right now for the rest of the evening. And so that cell will continue to move up to swell across the southern end of Toledo Bend. So on South Toledo Bend, moving over South Toledo Bend now into more of Sabine Parish in the next few minutes. So they may just let this go for about the next 5 minutes and then drop that tornado warning, but you can see it has moved outside of the tornado warned area, and so the danger has really left that zone. It is still within the severe thunderstorm warned area. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 4:15. That does include Sabine and Shelby County, but it's a very small portion of Shelby County, and right now there is no activity in Shelby County. So we can likely clear Shelby County, say that you're going to be okay. Sabine County, you're also going to be okay. And we are currently now at about 5 minutes away. Chandler, I don't know if this is going to survive till 3:45 for the tornado warning.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They may just let this thing expire. All right, so given the fact that, it does look like it's moved out of our viewing area, I think it's time for us to wrap. Let's give everybody kind of a general overview right now of what's going on. We have that severe thunderstorm warning that goes over into Louisiana. No other warnings currently in place, no watches in place, but we are going to continue to watch these thunderstorms as they continue to move out of Deep East Texas. For meteorologist Chandler Jordan, I'm CBS 19 Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony. Thanks for watching this special severe weather coverage here on CBS 19. Have a great afternoon. Sweet.